passate poi. È già acceso, eh?
So if you could please take a seat, we would like to start. Se gentilmente potete prendere posto, potremmo iniziare. Abbiamo anche degli ospiti online e quindi non possiamo troppo farli attendere. Inizio, che dici? Iniziamo, aspettiamo un attimo.
Faccio solo l'apertura.
Buongiorno a tutti e benvenuti all'evento di lancio di Interreg IPA South Adriatic. Mirë mëngjes, dobro jutro. Good morning, everyone. The event will be in English, as you know, but I'm sure that most of the people will understand also Italian. We have, anyway, interpretation into English. And so for the institutional session, we have very important guests with us, and I would like to give the floor, first of all, to Alessandro Delle Noci, Assessore per lo Sviluppo Economico della Regione Puglia. Alessandro, the floor is yours.
Buongiorno a tutti, grazie. A nome mio, del Presidente Emiliano, vi faccio non solo il saluto di benvenuto a tutti voi presenti qui, a tutti coloro che sono collegati, ai partner dei paesi esteri dello Stato della Repubblica dell'Albania e del Montenegro e alla Regione Molise. Ringrazio per la collaborazione svolta fino ad oggi, non semplice lavorare a distanza nelle difficoltà che la pandemia ci ha reso complicata ancora di più la collaborazione, ma siamo riusciti secondo me a chiudere un programma che guarda al futuro con grande ottimismo, dato dal fatto che la Regione Puglia ha la responsabilità dell'autorità di gestione, del segretariato tecnico di un programma complesso. Vai, ok.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Please, before I start my speech, please allow me to extend my heartfelt greetings on my personal behalf and also on behalf of the President of Regione Puglia, Mr. Emiliano. I would like to thank all of you, and I would like to extend my welcome to all of you here, also to the people who are connected online, and also to the partners of Albania and Montenegro that are attending this meeting. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the partners for their collaboration so far, which has not been so easy because we have also gone through the problem of the pandemic. So our work has been made a little bit more complex, but I'm convinced that at the end we have been able to have successful results. We have closed this the former program with a lot of optimism for the future, with Regione Puglia also acting as a managing authority.
Ringrazio l'autorità di gestione, il segretario tecnico, tutto lo staff che ha collaborato alla chiusura dell'intero programma, che dicevo è complesso e ambizioso perché sono speranzoso che questo sia l'ultimo programma di preadesione. Mi spiego. Che sono fiducioso, come ho detto la scorsa settimana, sia a Tirana che a Podgorica, che i paesi coinvolti in questo programma la prossima volta costruiranno con noi un programma trasfrontaliero, un programma tra paesi europei e non da paesi in preadesione.
I would like to thank the managing authority, the technical secretariat as well, and all those who have been collaborating also for this future program that, as I mentioned before, is not only it is not only complex but also ambitious. Because as I had the opportunity to say a couple of times before this meeting, I'm convinced, I wish, but maybe I'm convinced that this will be the last program of IPA programs with initiative of pre-addition, because I hope, and maybe I'm convinced, that next time we'll be able to deal, to cooperate among us as partners belonging to the European Union.
Sono convinto che il lavoro che faremo in questo programma costruirà basi e condizioni solide perché questo avvenga. Perché attraverso questo programma non ci sia solo una spesa data dall'opportunità dei fondi dati dall'Unione Europea, ma una reale sinergia e collaborazione che parte oggi da questo bando che punta a capitalizzare buone prassi, rafforzarle, provare a condividerle, provare a sistematizzarle su obiettivi comuni, provando a rendere i nostri territori più vicini, più collaborativi, più snelli, più verdi, più connessi, socialmente integrati, provando a condividere quelle buone prassi che l'Europa ci chiede e che sono alla base del programma di preadesione.
I'm convinced that we will be able to work together now, relying on very sound and strong basis, and that we are going to work not only just in terms of spending funds made available by the European Union, but while putting together all of our synergisms and collaborations, of course capitalizing on the results we have been able to achieve so far, and putting in place what have been the best practices that have already been created in terms of resulting in a smarter, more connected and more socially cohesive territories.
I 5 assi su cui si basa questo primo bando, ma che in realtà sono l'infrastruttura e lo scheletro su cui ci sarà sia il bando che immaginiamo di pubblicare verso aprile, il bando classico, che gli assi strategici su cui stiamo già lavorando tra i governi e le regioni, hanno un focus specifico. Io provo a tracciare quello che un po' è stato l'input politico condiviso su una visione complessiva che a nostro parere devono avere questi bandi, provando a generare opportunità e provando a specificare l'azione di oggi, dell'Info Day di oggi, su quella che è la capitalizzazione di progetti realizzati e che può istituire un vademecum anche importante, considerando che il massimale dei 200.000 euro messi a disposizione su un totale di 5 milioni di euro consentirà più o meno una trentina di progetti di essere approvati e di essere un asse nuovo, considerando che non ha tutti gli obblighi di rendicontazione, così come vi diranno nello specifico nella presentazione della call, degli altri progetti, consentirà di realizzare delle vere e propri scambi di attività. Partendo dall'asse 1, su cui la Regione Puglia, a prescindere da tutto, ma anche credo, e ne sono convinto, la Regione Molise sta costruendo un asse di sviluppo, può essere il vero asse su cui possiamo costruire un'alleanza del mare data dalle opportunità che possono derivare dall'economia blu. A tal proposito la Regione Puglia sta costruendo una strategia rispetto al tema della blue economy, che riguarda la logistica, riguarda la portualità turistica, riguarda la pesca, riguarda la valorizzazione costiera. Allora, attorno a questa strategia noi siamo convinti che si può generare un'economia di rilancio dei nostri territori, ma anche provare a dare una visione differente dei nostri territori che sono bagnati dal mare e che dal mare possono trarre una straordinaria opportunità di vantaggio competitivo. Sempre sull'asse 1.
The five axes of this call that is about to be launched, that for sure will be also the backbone, the skeleton of another call that will be issued next April, have a specific focus. And I'll try now to give you an idea of the political inspirations or political wishes and political measures that have been endorsed by all the partners that rely on a comprehensive vision of our territories, well, of course, always relying on the capitalization of the results of the project so far. So, starting from the funds that are made available, that is 200,000 euros, we are sure that this will cover at least the implementation of 30 new projects that will be, of course, approved. Now, starting from axis number 1, we in the regional government of Puglia and also in the Molise government, in the regional government of Molise, we are working together and we are constructing what is for us a very important axis of development that can be translated in a so-called alliance of the sea. This means that we are going to focus on blue economy, which is key for us in terms of development of logistics, development of tourism, development of the fisheries activities along our coastlines. We are sure that this will contribute to the relaunch of our territories, giving us and our partners new opportunities of growth.
Vado veloce, lasciando poi la parola all'autorità di gestione e al segretariato, dottoressa Perlingero, di spiegare al meglio il bando, ma mi permetto di soffermarmi su 2 o 3 altri punti per me di rilevanza strategica. Uno è presente nell'asse 3, che è il tema della connettività, e quindi ritorna il tema del della blue economy e quindi di costruire le connessioni rispetto anche allo sviluppo di tool che possono semplificare il tema dello scambio dei trasporti nella connettività portuale e non. L'altro è relativo all'efficientamento energetico ed è presente invece sull'asse 2, ritenendo che la blue economy e la green economy vadano insieme e ricordando che i nostri territori sono morfologicamente differenti e che le risorse naturali su cui costruire una politica di green economy sono leggermente diversi. Noi abbiamo una grande e straordinaria capacità di poter trarre energia dal sole e dal vento, loro dalle risorse idriche. Non cambia il processo comunitario su cui poter provare a generare masse critiche di efficientamento energetico, sia come efficienza sia come produzione.
Now, more rapidly, because then I'll give the floor to the managing authority and to the technical secretariat for them to focus in more detail on the call. But I would like anyhow to dwell on at least 2-3 points. The first one is contained in Axis 3, and by this I mean connectivity. And also in this case, blue economy is at play. We have to put in place tools to simplify and streamline our exchanges in terms of ports, harbors, activity, and transportation. Then the other point I would like to dwell on is contained in Axis 2, and has to do with energy efficiency. So green economy and blue economy growing in parallel. Well, in this respect, I want just to draw your attention on the fact that our territories are geomorphologically a little bit different. And this makes a difference for green economy in terms of the fact that we can rely on aeolian and solar energy a lot, whereas on the other side of the Adriatic, most of the renewable energy can be most energy can be produced by water resources. This does not change the critical mass of our potential production of energy.
Chiudo sull'ultimo tema, come avevo detto, che è particolarmente rilevante in una politica per adesione, che è il tema del riuso, sia delle buone prassi che del software, che delle attività che si possono svolgere all'interno della pubblica amministrazione. Molte volte rifacciamo le stesse cose tante volte perché tanto sono finanziate. Invece riutilizzare le buone prassi, ottimizzare, semplificare e customizzare gli atti legislativi o i software connessi alla realizzazione di una buona pratica è importante, ma il vero oro su cui noi dobbiamo investire sia su questo bando che sui prossimi è sullo sviluppo di competenze innovative. Il mercato mondiale dell'economia oggi è fluttuante, si muove alla ricerca di competenze, sono il vero oro del domani. Noi dobbiamo costruire le condizioni per fare in modo che la possibilità anche di insediamenti produttivi e non, e insediamenti legati al mondo della digitalizzazione avvenga in ogni luogo connesso e a distanza, e quindi lavorare sulle competenze è uno dei processi su cui abbiamo il dovere di lavorare da subito, pancia a terra. Grazie
Then
a
I would
tutti.
like to close mentioning my third point, and the third point is reuse in terms of best practices, of course, but also in terms of software and activities of public administrations. Sometimes we are tempted, or we tend to do always the same things because maybe we think they have been working, so we tend to repeat them. but it is, let's say, a wrong behavior, because I'm convinced that it is our duty to optimize things, to customize them, to tailor them to our needs. So we have all to focus on the development of innovative capacity building, because this is the new goal for our future, for tomorrow, the creation of innovative capacity buildings, with the setting up also of productive settlements based on innovative capacities, on digital capacities. That is our future.
Grazie e buon lavoro.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to give the floor to the managing authority, Crescenzo Antonio Marino. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mauro. Good morning, everyone, and many thanks for the kind participation to our regional councillor and to the director of the Department of Economic Development, Gianrisa Berlingerio. And I add my greetings and my welcome to all the representatives of the delegations that are here in presence with us and that are joining us online. In particular, the representatives of the European Commission, Mr. Gilles Kittel. Thank you, Gilles, for being with us. And the representative of the Department of Cohesion Policy of the Italian government, the representative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and International Cooperation, the regional councillor of Puglia, of Molise region that is with us, and the colleagues from the Agency of Cohesion of the Italian government. And thank you very much to my colleagues from Managing Authority and the Joint Secretariat. Just a few remarks on the next, on the program 2021-2027 that, as you know, has been approval finally and on the end of September. And for this program 2021-2027, the Interreg IPA CBC Italy-Albania-Montenegro has a new name, South Adriatic. This is the geography. As you know, the geography is unchanged. The geography is the same of the former program. We have Puglia and Molise for the Italian regions, and the whole territories of Albania and Montenegro. It is important to remember and to underline that the Article 2022 of the specific regulation of the ECT, the regulation number 1059, provides a specific flexibility clause that allows other Italian regions to take part of a partnership for our programs and in the projects. These are the priority axes of the program, the 5 priority axes. The first is a smarter Europe, the second is a greener Europe, a more connected Europe, a more social Europe, and a more governed Europe. This is the priority axis 5, and this is the first time that we have a specific axis for the theme of the governance. With regard to the specific objectives, strategic objectives, my colleague Mauro Novello will be more in depth during his intervention. This is the total budget of the program 2021-2027, and this is a sore point because the total budget is 81 million euros, and for the 2014-2020 the budget was 92 million. So we have a cut of the 10%, about the 10%. This is the total budget. The IPA fund is the majority of the financial resources, and we have the national co-financing, that it is 20% for Italy and 15% for Albania and Montenegro. This is the actions, and for all specific objectives, following possible actions are public services, digital services, small investments, innovative experimental applications, agreements, joint models and joint processes, and capacity building, capacity trainings. These are the target groups. The approach is the same of the former program 14-20. The approach with beneficiaries who participate in calls with project proposals. We have public authorities like ministries, regions, local, municipalities, and so on. Public bodies as agencies, bodies governed by public law, universities, research centers, and so on. And social partners like chambers of commerce, unions, not governmental organizations, associations, foundations, and so on. Their target groups that using the final benefit from the actions of the benefits are small and medium enterprises, public, private and non-profit organizations, and obviously citizens. The kinds of projects and the calls, we have three kinds of calls. The small scale projects up to 200,000 euros that will be financed only through simplified cost options. And we will launch the first call in the middle of the next month of December for 5 million euros. Then we have the standard projects, and the budget will be 39 millions, about 39 millions. Then the strategic projects, that is not a call. As you know, the strategic projects has an approach top-down, because ministries and the public administrations at top levels defined the strategic projects and the themes of the strategic projects, supported by seed facility experts that we have selected during the last months. And the budget for the 5 strategic projects is 25 millions. Then we imagine another small-scale projects in the 2025 with a budget of 5 million euros. The operation of strategic importance, we have 5 strategic projects. The first is Creative South Adriatic, the second is Resilient South Adriatic, More Connected South Adriatic, the fourth is Smart and Competitive South Adriatic, and the fifth is Good Governed South Adriatic. During the last committee, we have approved the final version of the first concept note of every project, strategic projects, and so the work is going on. Thanks for your attention. I wish you a fruitful discussion and a fruitful networking during this event, and I give the floor to Mauro Novello, the coordinator of the Joint Secretariat. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like now to give the floor to an online participant and speaker, Mr. Marco Doglia of Department for Cohesion Policy. I hope he is connected. And hi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Hello. I would like to thank you for the floor and to say as a first thing that it's a great pleasure to be here at the launch of the launch event of the IPA Adriatic program, because it gives me the opportunity to confirm once again the strategic importance of this program for our country. We have already heard something as this program represents a strategic framework of cooperation between Italy and 2 key partners, Albania and Montenegro, which has already been remembered by Mr. Garinoci, that are also pre-accession countries to the European Union, and we all hope will be soon members of the European Union. I think that the South Adriatic program is a precious instrument for cooperation, because I really believe in the importance of Interreg programs, because even if, as the first speaker remember, they have limited budgets in some way compared to mainstream ones, the real programs built on the real needs of territories, with a very clear aim to solve common problems among the countries involved, overcoming national borders. This means to work together without boundaries, and I think that is really important, because working together without boundaries, we can in some way develop more efficient and effective initiatives to improve citizens' life, citizens of all three nations, and that's important. What to say? Of course, we have this objective of working together on sustainable and social growth of our area, of that area, is an objective that is even more important in this special period, in this, we can say sad, but for sure difficult period, because we are dealing with the social and economic consequences of the two unexpected shocks. I mean, the pandemic, of course, and the war. And I really feel that we can better overcome this difficult period if we remain united, if we stay united, and if we work together, and if we prove that we are capable of tackling problems together. We have already heard that the South Adriatic has a strong blue connotation, which of course will be oriented towards environmental, but that has also some other different aspects, social sustainability, just to cite one. And so I think that it can be able to exploit the full potential of blue growth, addressing specific impacts of the climate change, for sure, in the Adriatic, but also other challenges linked to the use of the maritime space, for instance. The aim is to protect and defend the Adriatic Sea, that is important for all of the area of the program and also other programs, to protect the Adriatic Sea from an erroneous use of it. And this is a commitment that we can only fill up in cooperation. We can only work to this if we cooperate all together. And this brings me to another point I would like to touch. So it is the consistency with the EUSR strategy. As you all know, probably, the South Adriatic program is part of the European macro-regional strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region. I would say EUSR because it's easier, of course. Italy has already ensured the alignment with the strategy as a key framework for the 2021 and 2027 programming period, and has put a great emphasis on the need for complementarities and synergies with between all the programs operating in the area, not only the ETC1. The contribution to EUSR will be one, and I am happy of this, will be in the South Adriatic program one of the criteria to be respected and demonstrated by project proposal. And this is useful to be part of our bigger strategy, okay? South Adriatic has already taken up this challenge, as I was saying, with the first call. And has also given, it was already mentioned, but I would like to recall it once again, to give the opportunity to capitalize results produced also by other programs, for sure, for the benefit of the South Atlantic eligible area. And this is important. This is important because we are working in a way that all programs will be part of a strategy and will interact one with the other with capitalization, with embedding, and say this. Last but not least, I must recall the strategic importance of this program that relies also in being an instrument to support the pre-accession process of Albania and Montenegro, and to support the alignment of the administrative legal system with the acquis communautaire that is a vital part of the pre-accession, and we all hope that our friends from Albania and Montenegro will be soon in the European Union. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Doglia. And now the floor is yours, Chiara Adami, from the State Agency for Strategic Programming and Assistance Coordination.
Thank you, Maura. Good morning. Dear Mr. Kittel, dear colleagues and friends, dear participants here and others online. It is a pleasure to see and meet each other again. I'm very honored to be today to represent Albania at the launching event of the new program IPA South Adriatic. This event actually follows those that took place a few days ago in Tirana and Podgorica, where our countries once again confirmed their willingness to continue the cooperation and their full will to mark another success story. We have had other programs with Italy in the past, with a significant impact. I believe that this valuable experience is a further guarantee to implement this new program as well. Allow me to bring to your attention that the launch event of this program coincides with two new developments for Albania. First, our country is already at a more advanced stage on its path toward EU integration. The opening of the membership negotiation was not only a very good and long-awaited news, but also a great responsibility that requires an extra mobilization in all our structures and actors. I am glad that in this new program, there is a priority axis called good governance, which is a great opportunity that through the EU funds will allow us to increase the capacities of our administration and other active actors for the management of these funds and to prepare us for the future. Second, since 2021, State Agency for Strategic Programming and Aid Coordination was established, a new institution fully dedicated to the coordination of foreign assistance that benefits our country. The aim is to respond better on the dynamics required by these programs and to speed up the processes and procedures that depend on us. I believe that we are on track with this. In fact, our goal in itself is not that we simply benefit from these programs, but actually to make the assistance that comes from the EU available to our citizens and our country, to develop the economy, to improve the infrastructure, to better connect with each other, and etc. To conclude, let me express an opinion on the 5 programs pillar. Of course, all of 5 are very important for our country and its socio-economic development. Creativity in tourism and cultural heritage for us is a valuable opportunity to further promote and develop the tourism, to diversify our touristic offer in different regions of the country, and to be more and more competitive in this sector. Interconnected infrastructure also remains a sector where Albania, but I believe also Montenegro, still has unfulfilled needs. Let's take advantage of the new opportunities this program offers. Adaptation on climate change, circular economy and blue economy, especially with the increase in the involvement of youth, remains other areas where we must constantly keep our focus, especially with this decade's challenges. As per digital transformation, Albania has made an epochal leap, I would say, offering over 95% of public services online. Closing the counters is a success story, but e-governance and digitalization are an ongoing challenge. We want to go online also with public services that are offered by local government. Small countries like Albania and Montenegro can make big transformation by using the advantages that technology creates. And this program is an added value in this regard. In closing, let me allow once again, on behalf of Albania, to express our readiness for a fruitful collaboration in the implementation of this program. We will aim to provide every facility and to contribute in a qualitative way so that everything is realized in its best interest of our country and in full accordance with the EU. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chiara. Thank you very much. And now I would like to give the floor to our colleagues from Montenegro, Irena Bošković, Department for Interreg Programs and Macro-Regional Cooperation. Irena, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mauro. I hope that you can hear me.
Perfect, perfect.
Yes, yes, great. So, good morning, everyone, distinguished representatives, dear colleagues and guests. It gives me great pleasure to address you on behalf of the Ministry of European Affairs of Montenegro at the launching conference. And please accept apologies for not being able to be with you in person. First of all, allow me to express our appreciation to the Managing Authority and the Joint Secretariat for their hard and sustained work so far in preparing the new program, and of course in the continuous support in the successful implementation of the current Interreg IPA CBC program between Italy, Albania and Montenegro, which is apparently coming to a close. The South Adriatic region is a region we all know of great opportunities thanks to geographic, historical and cultural features. We share common potentials, common challenges and a common future, which is why the cross-border cooperation is of vital importance for the prosperity of this area. The collaboration between Italy, Montenegro and Albania within the previous program has resulted in 80 successful projects, which are worth over 84 million euros. And they helped us to tackle challenges in different fields like competitiveness of small and medium-sized enterprises, tourism and culture, environment, energy, sustainable transport. We all know that we have established very close links among hundreds of institutions and organizations from the region of Puglia and Molise, Albania and Montenegro, who implemented joint actions, exchanged knowledge and experience, and developed new products and services in order to improve the quality of life in this area. So we are very confident that this successful track record will continue in the new Interreg IPA South Adriatic program as well, which will unlock in total 81 million euros in funding over the course of next 7 years in order to make the South Adriatic region smarter, greener, more connected, more social and better governed. So we are looking forward to new projects that will lead to improved public and digital services, innovative applications, joint models, capacity building, and more. Please rest assured that Montenegro will continue to collaborate closely with the authorities from Italy and Albania in order to have even more successful projects that aim to enhance the economic, social, and territorial cohesion of the area. Our cooperation has also proved fruitful in our bilateral programs that we are participating, and also in transnational programs where stakeholders from our countries implement joint projects that contribute to the attainment of the goals set out in macro-regional strategies, including the EU strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region. I would like also to mention that Montenegro remains committed to meeting the requirements relating to the EU cohesion policy while strengthening administrative and institutional capacities to manage IPA and future EU cohesion policy funds. So let me conclude by restating that the strategic importance of this new program, Interreg IPA South Adriatic program. We are positive that the collaboration between Italy, Albania and Montenegro will continue to be an important driver of sustainable economic growth and social innovation, bringing prosperity and creating a better future for all in this region. So thank you very much for your attention, and we are looking forward to future cooperation within this and the other initiatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Irena. Now, before giving the floor to the next speaker online, I would like to switch back to the present persons here in the panel. So, Gianelisa Berlingerio, Director of Department for Economic Development, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mauro, and welcome to Puglia, everybody. Of course, my English is less brilliant than hers, but I think we could save a few minutes if I address you in English. But I just wanted to underline that last year there was an economist from Puglia called Gianfranco Viesti who wrote a book called Center and Peripheries, Suburbs, but in a figurative way. And he not only identified Puglia as a periphery, but also Italy as a whole, and in a certain way, even Europe. And the way to get out of this definition of being peripheric to the global market, being peripheric to the global flow of consciousness, let's say, for him, is basically based on two lines, which are competencies and connectivities. And I'm very glad that in our program, those two lines are not only part of the program, you can see them expressly mentioned in two axes, but they are, I think, basically transversal to all of the projects we are talking about, we are dreaming about in those days. So I think that we are really, we started from common needs, actually. And I think that I want to share with you this idea that needs are, play a key role in the success of the project we are going to file, to design altogether. Because of course the program offers a wide variety of themes of cooperation, but if each of us choose the subject, the issue that represents a need of his territory, of course there will be not only effectiveness in our action, and I'm glad of what Ms. Adami said before. We want to see the results, not just the expenses made. The results on our social texture, on our economic development, and so on. The suggestion is to choose the right partners, but also to choose the right need to target. Today, it's actually a good matching opportunity because many of the partners are represented. It's important, of course, to have trust to each other, but also to follow, let's say, a certain strength in the financial and the administrative part, but also in the organization, to be sure to go all together with your partners to the objective, to the target. And I think that, let's say, the fact that for the first time in this program, we have an axis dedicated to governance, which Ms. Adami also was mentioning. It is important because what we are trying to realize is part of our citizenship right. So, for instance, having such a high percentage of public services held by internet, so working online, is part of our digital citizenship. So I think that working all together of fooling our citizenship of meaning is the way to get out of the periphery, get out of the suburb. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gianna-Elisa. Now I would like to give the floor to Brussels, Gilles Kittel. If you are online and you can hear us, the floor is yours.
I can hear you. I hope you can hear me. So Brussels calling.
Perfectly.
Hello.
Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. So first, apologies not to be with you today, but indeed we are trying to be greener also in our practices. And since I visited you already a few weeks ago, apologies, but it was very difficult for me to arrange again my presence with you, physical presence with you today. Nonetheless, I would like to congratulate you for this event. Also, I would like to the Puglia region, managing authority, the Joint Secretariat, all the people actually who participated to this work, this new program. We think it's a major achievement. Really, I think you can congratulate yourself for this work, the work that we have achieved together. And that's very important that this is really a joint work. It's not just, we are under shared management, so it's not just Brussels telling you what to do. It's on the contrary, based on very detailed analysis, as it was said, that we try to address the needs. And I have just heard that we are considered to be, you are considered to be in the periphery. I don't know, you see, there are obviously different theories. For sure, we need to address the structural problems that we are facing in Europe. And I agree that the program can be part of the solution, although there are many other programs that can also help. Today, because you asked me why you see this program is so strategically important for the region, I would like to contribute in 6 points. If you agree, you will see there are certain things which have been already mentioned by the previous speakers. I will try nonetheless to emphasize on, let's say, the aspect that we consider important, the Commission consider important. So the first point I would like to emphasize again, as just I told you, we are extremely satisfied about the work that you did. The negotiation, we think, went very well. You were extremely reactive when we had to, because there were many changes. People do not realize always, but there are many services in Brussels involved in the making of such programs. And we think that really everything went very smoothly and very fast. You need to know that we are ahead of the big cohesion program. So really Interreg programs in general, but your program in particular was really effective in the way it was prepared. So, and therefore that was also mentioned, it's not only that you were effective in the making, but we think also that you targeted the right priorities for the region and the right priority for the EU. So I heard already climate change mitigation, climate adaptation, that's for sure, obviously, as you know, a very important issue, not only for the EU, but we think for the planet. The biodiversity issue, that's another big concern. Sustainable mobility, social inclusion, in particular through the strengthened role of culture and sustainable tourism. And that's for sure something extremely important for the region, especially after the COVID time, which hit the region very, very hardly. And as I heard as well from especially the partner countries, the cross-border governance, which needs to be strengthened. So again, to say the priorities that you identified, we think they are really the right ones for the region. And that's why, for sure, we can consider that this program is already strategic. The second point that I would like to mention, and you will see there are 6 points in total, I will not be too long, is to say that this new generation, or we call them Interreg IPA programs, so combining Interreg, so cohesion fund, and IPA funds, this new generation of program is of a different nature than the previous one. So again, as I just heard before, indeed, we absolutely agree with you. The purpose of the program is not to simply fund good projects. So based on open call, you select the best one and you finance them. No, we want to go in a way a mile ahead or a kilometer ahead. And for instance, policy goals like cooperation or cohesion are now things that we want to promote more. Why? Because we think that what matters the most, and probably that's also linked to the observation you made with the periphery, citizens need to see more real and visible changes in their daily life. Citizens, enterprises, stakeholders in the region. The other thing that I heard as well, and it's absolutely true, we think the program can also help the partner countries, Albania and Montenegro, to get better prepared for their accession to the EU, for sure. So again, the program is strategically important in that context. And then the last thing about the second point, this new generation of program is, as I briefly mentioned, and as it was also said before, it was based on a very good analysis of the needs and also what we call a good intervention logic. So it's to say, we really spend time, you in particular, the monitoring committee and the task force, to elaborate a program which is really based on, I would say, on facts, on analysis, and which should really address the needs obviously to the best extent we can. We can always make mistakes, but for sure, the work was really very carefully managed by you, and we can only praise that. The last thing about the second point and the new generation of this new generation is also the capitalization of the 2014-2020 project results. That's certainly something extremely important, which is in a way new, and the operation of strategic importance. And that brings me to my third point, is the two strategic projects that we call now Operation of Strategic Importance, so Creative South Adriatic and Resilient South Adriatic. They are for sure extremely important. That's why we call them strategic projects. And for sure, we want to build up on those two important projects. So again, that brings even additional, let's say, strategic dimension to your program, we think, with these two strategic projects. The fourth point is to say that and that's mentioned in your document, but we would like to insist, indeed, it's important, we think, for the region that you support more and better the EU strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region. This is primarily needed because the macro-regional strategy can only deliver if they are concretely supported by the programs in the region. So in that respect, obviously, your role is extremely important. But also, obviously, you can develop more synergies with the national and regional operational programs, the IPA programs also in the region, in Albania and Montenegro, and also the other Interreg programs, like in particular IPA Adrian. So that's the new program covering the entire region. So, but again, you have done a lot of work to indeed identify better those synergies. And I would say, and now it's more towards the potential applicants, this is certainly an opportunity that there is, we think, a much better coordination between the different programs in the region. The fifth point, again, about this strategic, let's say, importance of this program, but I would say even of all the Interreg programs, is the citizens. That was mentioned in some speeches, intervention that I've just heard, but clearly for the Commission, for DG Regio, the citizen is really at the heart of our programs and the heart of our projects. So that's something that we think that the partners should have always in mind, that the citizens are the starting and ending point of any cooperation. If the citizens on each side of the border do not know each other, or they do not trust each other, if they don't care about cooperation, nothing can happen. So again, we think your role in that respect is extremely important, for sure. And linked to that, obviously, a good communication towards the citizen, but also with the citizen. So to have really a very open attitude, but I think this is an attitude you have already, but clearly we want to, let's say, foster it. And social media can also be another channel to reach the citizens and to explain maybe better also our actions in the future. Again, I want to underline this program, but in general, the Interreg programs in the region are the only program which are implemented at a very local level. So that's really something, and therefore they can really have very concrete effect on the life of the people. They are the only ones actually operating at NOTS 3 level. So that's really something to be considered. Finally, to conclude, that would be my last and sixth point. It's again to be very careful on the governance of the program. So when we say governance of the program, we mean the quality of the project, the transparency of our practices, also to ensure that the partners, all partners are allowed to participate at all stages of the implementation. It's also to be very open and transparent in our communication. And that's a bit linked to also to the access to the program to work on the simplification of the procedures, because otherwise, in a way, there is an entry barrier to the program. But again, you have done an incredible work, and I would like to congratulate you. And for all those reasons, I think really the program is very strategic for the region, and I want to thank you for that. So I wish, obviously, that there will be a lot of interest for this program, and obviously, as I said already, the Commission stands ready to answer any question now or later, and obviously will stand next to you to implement this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gilles. The next speaker will be from Molise region, Assessore Quintino Pallante, Regional Minister for Human Resources, Policies, Transport and Mobility. So the floor is yours.
Buongiorno, spero voi mi vediate. Allora, innanzitutto, dopo aver portato i saluti del Presidente Toma, oggi a Roma per impegni istituzionali, mi preme salutare e ringraziare per l'invito e per l'organizzazione di questo importante evento di lancio l'assessore allo sviluppo economico della Regione Puglia, l'autorità di gestione del
così
Prego.
la vediamo. Ecco.
Scusate, scusatemi. Il segretario tecnico aggiunto, il Dipartimento per lo Sviluppo Economico della Regione Puglia. Saluto i rappresentanti delle prestigiose istituzioni che oggi sono convenuti qui a Bari, testimoniando con il loro intervento e il loro contributo lo spessore e il rilievo di questa iniziativa, la Commissione europea e per essa la Direzione Generale delle Politiche Regionali, i rappresentanti istituzionali delle Repubbliche di Albania e Montenegro, il Ministero degli Esteri, il Dipartimento per le Politiche di Coesione, l'Agenzia per le Coesione Territoriale. Sento l'esigenza di fare un plauso alla Regione Puglia e alla struttura tecnica per come ha egregiamente condotto il programma 2014-2020 e per come è stata sempre vicina a tutti gli interlocutori interessati. Siamo sicuri che il medesimo impegno sarà assicurato anche per il nuovo programma 2021-2027 che parte ufficialmente oggi. Siamo cresciuti tutti con il programma che va in chiusura. Capitalizzeremo quanto fatto in passato nelle nuove sfide che ci attendono. L'Adriatico è stata la nostra scrivania di lavoro per passare a modalità comune di cooperazione, di sviluppo e di crescita. Garantiremo l'attenzione massima alle strategie impostate fino al 2027, tanto da condividerle anche nel nostro programma operativo regionale del Molise di prossimo avvio. I tempi che viviamo richiedono la massima attenzione nell'uso delle risorse pubbliche di qualsiasi tipologia essi siano. Per questo auspichiamo che il nuovo programma finanzierà interventi ed azioni che contribuiscano fattivamente, sempre nel segno della cooperazione, alla crescita dei nostri territori. Gli assi di sviluppo che ci apprestiamo ad attivare nel nuovo programma possono realmente introdurre soluzioni tecniche smart verso la crescita anche in settori quali quello del risparmio energetico, la formazione, le modalità di collegamento e purtroppo, argomento tristissimo di questi giorni, il rischio idrogeologico. Consentitemi di fare un plauso anche ai tecnici che in questi anni ci hanno accompagnato nell'attuazione dei singoli progetti. Mi riferisco ai project manager, ai financial manager che hanno assistito partner e lead partner nell'avanzamento progettuale. Siamo fortemente intenzionati a coinvolgerli sempre, confermando la necessità di competenze di alto valore e di assoluta responsabilità. Ci preme in ultimo anche proporre nel nuovo programma per le call che saranno attivate l'opportunità di prevedere un partner obbligatorio per ogni territorio interessato. Riteniamo che questa richiesta sia una validissima leva nel solco della cooperazione e dello spirito del fare insieme fra i territori coinvolti. Siamo certi della condivisione politica che questa proposta sia accolta sia dalla Regione Puglia che dagli amici albanesi e montenegrini. Con queste parole vi ringrazio per l'attenzione e vi restituisco la parola. Buon programma 2021-2027 a tutti voi.
Thank you so much for the kind participation to Gianelisa Berlingerio that has to leave our meeting for other institutional engagements. Thank you, Gianelisa. See you.
First of all, allow me to extend my warmest greetings on behalf of President Toma, who was not able to join us today because of institutional commitments with other regions. And I would like also to extend my personal greetings to all of you and thank for the invitation and for the organization of this very important launch event. I would like to thank in particular the Regional Minister for Economic Development of Regione Puglia, the Managing Authority of the IPA Interreg South Adriatic Program, the Joint Technical Secretariat, the Ministry of Economic Development of Regione Puglia. I would like to greet as well the representatives of the high-profile institutions that have gathered today in Bari, witnessing with their interventions and contributions the high profile of this initiative. I would like to thank the European Commission, Direction General Regional Policies, the institutional representatives of the Republics of Albania and Montenegro, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, the Department of Cohesion Policies, and the Agency for Territorial Cohesion. Now, after these greetings, I feel the need to extend all of my appreciation to Regione Puglia, to the technical facility as well, for the way of implementing the program in the period 2014-22, and for the fact that have always been able to work side by side with all the interlocutors involved. We are sure, we are convinced that the same level of commitment will be provided also for the new 2021-2027 program that gets officially started today. Well, we have all grown together with this program, with the program that is about to close today, and for sure will capitalize and build on what has been made in the past in the new challenges ahead of us. Well, using a metaphor, I could say that the Adriatic Sea has been our desk, at which we have all been working together to devise the new modalities, common modalities of cooperation, development and growth. We'll pay utmost importance to the strategies that have been devised since until 2027. And an evidence of this, a proof of this, is that these strategies will also be included in our Programma Operativo Regionale, in our regional action plan that is about to start. Now, we are living at a time and in which it is important to pay utmost attention in terms of use of public resources, whatever kind of them. For this, it is our wish that the new program will fund intervention and actions that could result in visible, tangible improvements, and always under the banner of cooperation and growth of our respective territories. Now, the development axis that we are about to put in motion with the new program can really result in smart and technical solutions towards growth, also in sectors like energy saving, training, connection modalities, and unfortunately, so sad to tell this today, also in terms of hydrogeological risks. I would like also to send all of my appreciation to the technicians that over these years have guided us in the implementation of the individual projects. And by this I mean project managers, financial managers that have provided their assistance to partners, to lead partners and partners in all the phases of the projects. It is our firm intention to continue to use them, convinced as we are that we really need highly skilled and responsible operators. But we would like to take this opportunity to put forward a proposal for the new program and for the new call that are about to get started. Well, for us, it would be expedient to envisage the presence of a compulsory partner for each one of the territory involved. We feel that this proposal will be crucial and key in terms of reinforcement of our spirit of doing things together and of collaborating. We are also sure that this proposal will be politically endorsed by Regione Puglia and by our friends from Albania and Montenegro. Thank you for your attention and all my best wishes for a successful new program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pallante. Now, our colleagues from Ministry for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation is not connected. I think she might have a problem also because she mentioned she was not feeling well. Therefore, I will go to Mrs. Milena Rosa from the Agency for Territorial Cooperation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mauro. And good morning to everyone. And we would like to thank you for the invitation, and in behalf of the Agency for Territorial Cohesion, from its General Director, Paolo Esposito, and the Head of Office, Paolo Galletta. We welcomed with great pleasure the invitation to this launch event to share with you the results of the 14-20 programming period, and first of all, to discover the new opportunities of the new Interreg South Adriatic program. The theme of our meeting is the central role of the South Adriatic area as a common economic and environmental asset, understood as a natural platform for developing cooperation on the long-standing trade exchange contacts that are reflected in some common features of the cultural, social, and environmental heritage. Starting from this, the 14-20 program has achieved important results, for which I congratulate to the managing authority with the JS and all its staff. Results and success that were not all obvious. In fact, the Italy-Albania-Montenegro program in 14-20 period was a new program, and so means also to face and pay for a delay in startup phase, for the construction of a governance process and internal organization for the first time. But it brilliantly overcame the challenge, as it was also able to implement mitigating intervention and action during the not easy period of COVID-19, and in cooperation program based on process, methods, and exchange with partners from different countries, it was particularly challenging. The program today collects and records important results, and above all, we have several outputs, winning results, which we can define good practice, good products, understand in a broad sense, ready to be reused, from which to start for the new programming period. And if the year 2022 was the European Year of Young People, so the perfect moment to move forward with confidence in a post-pandemic perspective to build a greener, more inclusive and more digital future, the year, as we all know, the year 2023 is the European Year of Skills. So this is the right moment to encourage multiple action aimed at promoting to improve participation, talent, and to improve the skill and competence of European citizens, of European partner, of Albanian and from Montenegro partner, in order to better concentrate investment and cooperate with business whose needs must be correlated with the aspiration of EU citizen and with the attractiveness of talent in the area. In this context, the first call of Interreg South Adriatic program, which through projects that are shorter in their duration and in number of partners, will be more focused on results and open to small private companies. This is the perfect starting for the new program, for the new year, and in order that we can appreciate all the skills that have always distinguished our area of cooperation. I renew my thanks, and I wish everyone a fruitful day, but above all, I wish excellent results for the new South Adriatic program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Milena. Now for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we got a message that they cannot join us because, as I said, it was impossible for Mrs. Mameli, and the best greetings from Minister Andrea Cascone, so to you all. So have you heard it is raining a lot, but as they say in Italian, sposa bagnata, sposa fortunata, we hope that also this program is going to be a lucky program. And now I would like to let you have a break. We have foreseen that at 11:30 we start again, so let's try to be on time and start again at 11:30. Meanwhile, you can enjoy the coffee on your back. Thank you very much for your patience. Also to the persons online, I would like to thank all participants online that are following us in YouTube. And thank you very much. Se potete raggiungerci dal coffee break, abbiamo finito il coffee break, vorremmo riniziare. Se potete venire in sala e prendere posto, iniziamo. Grazie. È ora di iniziare, scusatemi. Time to start again. Also for the people connected online, we are about to start again. I hope you had the time to take a coffee also at home. We had a coffee, we had some cakes, so we have now the energy to start again. Sì, grazie, le slide. So now for beneficiaries, for the ones that are going to write the projects, this is very important session. This is the session where you're going to gain some knowledge, maybe not extremely new because you have already participated. Some of you we have seen already in the regional and national info days, but we will try also to add some input. And also afterwards you will have time to use what you heard to discuss it with your colleagues and maybe start new ideas, start new project ideas, new projects. So this is also the main objective of the session today. Scusa, forse non... Just a technical issue we are solving. Se no ti faccio segno. So next slide, please. As you have already seen, these are the priority axes and the specific objectives. And then again, I would like to stress that there is also some cross-cutting themes like the pre-accession assistance, the cultural heritage, tourism, security at borders, and the digitalization. So these are the cross-cutting themes you can include in all priority axes, in all specific objectives. Next. But starting with the first specific objectives, this is about SMEs, competitiveness. Next. And you see, we want actions focus on some themes. So we have in our programming some themes included like green tourism, cultural, creative SMEs, healthcare, agro-food, blue economy. But also we have other themes that are new like cybersecurity. But there might be other themes as well that you want to address. So small, medium enterprises, for the benefit of small, medium enterprises that should have better conditions for growth of them, please feel free to also add themes that we didn't think about in the program. Next. 2.1, this is about the risk prevention and disaster resilience. Thank you. And here you see we included all the typical risk topics. So we included, of course, pandemics. But also we included some measures that could address specific groups and digitalization in risk management. This is very important for us that you deal with digitalization and improve it. 2.2, biodiversity. We have green infrastructure in the urban environment and reducing pollution in general. Here, of course, the focus is on natural habitats, but we would like to extend it a little bit and think about what are the causes of pollution, etc. And these should be reduced because this is for the benefit of the natural habitats and biodiversity. Of course, you can include also here some actions that are related to natural heritage, management of natural area, and for greener tourism. And you can include here also water resources and landscape, water landscapes, and also the spatial planning, maritime spatial planning. This is very important for us. Promoting energy efficiency. Here you see it is about reducing the CO2 emissions, of course. Some actions we mentioned in the program, like the energy efficiency measures for public buildings, but also integrated plans, and also new topics that we couldn't think of, like energy community or other tools that you can use for energy efficiency. This is something we want to see in the project. 3.1 is about intermodal and sustainable connectivity, so transport in general, but not only, of course. And here, especially with a small-scale project, but in general in our program, we do not have the resources to invest in big infrastructure, so forget about it. But what we can do is to make the infrastructure we have more efficient. So we can use measures of digitalization or other kind of monitoring methods, etc., that could increase the efficiency or could increase port security, etc. So the final aim is, of course, maritime, air, rail, road, sustainable transport and intermodal transport, but in general, it's made with small intervention and mostly digital, we would say. 4.1 is about training skills. And here you see, of course, you have to focus on the professional, entrepreneurial, digital skills of the young generation in general, but not only, of course. So the vulnerable social groups is very important. We mentioned here needs. This is a very clear need in the region to address also this mismatch in the labor market demand and offer. So cross-border labor markets. There are already some projects that are working on joint curricula. For instance, this is something we would like to see also in the project. 4.2, tourism and social inclusion. So very important here is the word social inclusion. It is not only about tourism. You have to remember these specific objectives within the social, more social Europe objective. So social inclusion is a key. We cannot finance only tourism objective here. So tourism should become more social, more resilient, and should target specific vulnerable social groups, local communities. There are plenty of projects also in 14-20 period that were working on local communities and on tourism, so there is a lot to capitalize on. 5.1, public administration. Again, here you should focus on the word effectiveness, efficiency, but also on the word obstacles, so trying to remove the obstacles for citizens and SMEs to connect across the border. Institutional capacity, so you need to work on the institutional capacity. You have heard this morning in the panel a lot of interest from the political level. Adoption of EU rules, this is something very important for these specific objectives. E-government, so digitalization again. And we would like to stress statistical data. We have a gap in the statistical data between the two shores of the Adriatic. You know, in Albania and Montenegro, they are already catching up in many fields. We know they are also participating in Eurostat, but in some others, data is completely missing. So this is something that the project could work. This is just a suggestion, of course. There are many other things you could work on, but I think it is very important for us. Key features of the first call. So the first call is built on the 1420 targeted call, so it's really learning the lesson. Extensive concept of capitalization, so we are not only capitalizing on our own projects, the ones of the 1420 period, but we are also capitalizing on achieved results from other funds, programs, initiatives, projects, geographical context. So you see we opened up the capitalization concept quite a lot, and again even more saying that you should capitalize on results achieved by the organization that are recognized as a good practice. So something that you can really find within the organization. For the projects that are already capitalizing with the within the current period, they have to show us additional steps. So it is not sufficient to say we are finding new partner interested in getting these results and transferring them. We need to see other results. Joint and innovative solutions are also possible for the specific objective 5.1. So as it is a very new objective, we included also possibility to add innovative solutions, of course, based on skills and competencies of the organization. Small-scale projects, what are small-scale projects for us? They are 200,000 euro max, simplified cost options only, 1 year duration, And you will see, I will present it to you, there are new simplified cost option proposed, which will enable you to do a lot. There is also an ongoing partner search. So besides the networking and partner search exercise you're going to do afterwards, we have also online our website a published document on the partner search, which we can update. You have to also know that there will be additional points for projects having NGOs, addressing the EU-SARE pillars, capitalization, of course, partners from the three countries, and partners from the two Italian regions, so Puglia and Molise. This is additional points for all these projects. So we encourage that. Co-financing is 20% for Italy, Fondo di Rotazione, and both for public and private partners this time, and 15% for Albania and Montenegro. Pre-financing is 30% with 5,000 euro preparation costs. Maximum number of partners is 5 plus 1 associate per partner. And the maximum number of projects per partner or per organization is 8 as lead partner, so 1 per specific objective, and 16 per project partner, so 2 per specific objective. It's a lot, so you have plenty of possibility. Key features of the first call 3 is about the new fact sheets. We are going to publish together with the call one fact sheet of the future program manual, which is about intervention logic, where we will explain how to build up the intervention logic of the project, what are the new outputs and result indicators, what are the definition of the actions we propose. So there is really support for you to understand how we want you to work, and also on the target value we want to be aligned with our compulsory target value, because basically what we are going to do is to transfer to the European Commission the value that you are mentioning in your project and in your reports. So we need really to match it with what we said in the program. Then general eligibility, which is very similar to the current general eligibility rules. You know that in the previous programming period we had this delegated act of the European Commission setting up the ETC eligibility rules. In this programming period, it is included in the ETC regulation. So check the ETC regulation. And basically, we are just updating. There are some new features still, but we are simply updating it. Simplified cost option. This is really something new, even though we were one of the first programs introducing the simplified cost option largely with the small-scale projects. Now it has become really a key element of the whole eligibility structure, let's say. So basically, you see, we are still using the simplified cost option of the 14-20 period, you know already. So preparation costs, closure costs, workshops, and B2Bs, lump sums. These are something that you know already. We have just adapted to the inflation. So you're going to receive also the fact sheet where you will see the new values adapted to the inflation. SEO the regulation, the ETC regulation included a lot of new SEOs, like the 40% flat rate on all staff costs, covering all external costs, but we will not use it in the first call. Then the office flat rate and the travel flat rate. Office flat rate was already there. Travel flat rate is new. So also new from the ETC regulation. We are going to use it compulsorily. Then we have 21-27 new SEOs from our program, and you see we were inventing a lot. Not inventing, we were, let's say, introducing new opportunities for you. So, The first is about the staff. We have the standard scale of unit cost staff. We analyze the data we have of the current period. So we set up for 3 different countries, 3 different categories of partners, and 3 different categories of staff. We set up standard scale of unit cost, which then will enable you to quickly report, but quickly also estimate how much you need. Then we have the training as you see, and accompanying action as you see. These 2 are taken from the European Social Funds program, and we took it and just translated into our context. So this is something that some of you might know if you are used to work also in the European Social Fund. Travel, this is connected to these 2. And then we have 2 new simplified cost options that we developed based on our statistical data. It is the Italian FLC, so there will be a staff cost covering it, flat rate covering it, sorry. And then the joint action plan, models, etc., which is going to be a very interesting lump sum for you because it covers plenty of activities that you usually do in our projects. This is the budget allocation for the first call. You see it's not much, it's 5 million, but in total with 200,000 euro maximum, we will have 25 to 30 projects financed. So it's not bad. And as you see, we put some more money in governance. The priority axis 5.1, 1,400,000, while in connectivity we put only 600,000. So just 3 projects are foreseen. But this is clear because also we have seen the interest was very limited for transport projects, small projects. So now I would like to give you the floor for some questions. The first question that you might have on the call, my colleagues of the Secretariat are sitting also among you and they will help me to answer this question. But just to gain an overview, if there are burning questions you want to ask us, potete parlare anche in italiano, poi la risposta la faremo in inglese. So if you want, please, anybody who would like to break the ice. So you will get the microphone.
Good morning everybody. I have a couple of questions regarding the concept of capitalization. Again, I would like to know.
Lo sostituiamo.
Okay. I would like to know whether it's possible to capitalize on projects that are still ongoing but will be closed soon. For example, targeted projects approved under the targeted call for proposals, or if we have, for example, to wait for the final report to be submitted, so it is not possible to capitalize on them. And another question is it possible to capitalize on results which are very close from a mathematic point of view, but that are achieved in different projects? So to combine results from 2 projects, for example, in a new project to be submitted, in a new project proposal. Thank you very much.
Yes to both questions. The short answer. The more complex answer is we have to see that you are convincing us you are capitalizing on results that are mature and worth to be capitalized on. This is the only limit. So it's really very wide open. We want to see things that are really capitalized on, so reused, transferred, etc. We will include in the intervention logic fact sheet also some more input on capitalization, but in this context, capitalization is really wide open and we don't have administrative limitations. Thank you for the questions. Any other burning question? If not, I would like to point out we have a FAQ document that we will update every time we get a new question, and please send us the question simply to the JS. The call will be published around mid of December. The issue was basically administrative and also logistic, so we had some settings to be done, and they are ready. Today we have heard there are some very good progress in the administrative procedure, and therefore we are very confident that by the 15th of December we will be able to publish it together with all the documents that I mentioned. All right, then the very important part of this meeting today is this session, working session. We would like you to get to know partners, exchange on potential project ideas, and maybe also join forces, because you might get to know that there are ideas already there that you wanted also to develop, and then you could join forces. So we would like you to check in your badge the color and the specific objectives that you selected when you were registering. Reach the specific objective totems, so there are like totems over there. You will reach them, and a facilitator will ask you to write your name, organization contacts, and 3 thematic keywords, so basically very briefly the project idea, and to present it briefly to the group. And we want you to discuss and exchange ideas. So the main objective is really to get to know the others and get to know if they have ideas that are interesting for you and you could join forces. So use this occasion just right after this discussion that you will have in the groups, you will go to lunch, and you will continue also during the lunch, we hope. You will continue discussing your ideas and learning the other person, getting to know the other person. So use really this occasion to get to know the others and start a good partnership, because as Mrs. Berlingeri also said, these partnerships are the basis. If you have a solid partnership, if you have a good trust, you will proceed. Otherwise, you will not. So just use this occasion and also have a fruitful discussion. So thank you very much to all of you. Okay, just an addition on the intervention logic before you leave.
Sorry for my intervention, but I would like to add something relating the intervention logic for new proposals related to this call. And according to what the colleague from ETS Logistics has said before, has asked before, if you have more than one practice, best practice, good practice, product, or something like that, and you would like to combine something for the new call, remind that it is important to focus your attention to one specific output or services or good practices. Then avoid in the submission of new proposal to put a lot of things together, because the main important aspects for the capitalization is to focus the attention on a specific output services, service or plan or something like that that you have already developed in other programs, in other funding projects. It is very important because in any way you can fall in confusion for your idea. So focus your attention on a specific topic. Okay? Thank you very much.
Very important point. We don't want you to be off track, so andare fuori tema non ci piace. Grazie. Potete procedere e raggiungerci ai totem, grazie mille.